There is a huge misinterpretation in the field of YouTube live streaming. And the misinterpretation is that it looks good. People say that it looks better than Twitch, but they only say that on the basis of numbers. So if you don't know, live streaming is measured with bits. The quality of a live stream is measured with bits. The more bits, the better quality. The lower bit rate, a live stream starts to look blocky, and it looks like, you know how when you share your screen on Discord, it sometimes gets blocky? Yeah, it's kind of like that. The more bits, the better quality. Twitch has a max advertised bit rate of 6,000 kilobits per second on 1080p 60 FPS, while YouTube has a max of 9,000 kilobits per second. So on paper, YouTube is better, right? Well, that's not actually the case, because YouTube uses an additional layer of encoding on their backend for the stream that is different from Twitch's. If you watch like a Twitch stream of a just chatting stream and you go 1080p 60 FPS and full screen, you'll start to notice that the details are a lot sharper on still images on Twitch compared to YouTube. And also gameplay just looks sharper on Twitch compared to YouTube. So why is that? Well, it's because of this additional layer of encoding that it does. And YouTube does this for many reasons. The main one is to save space, because you know, all of their stuff is saved on servers, and those servers have a limited bandwidth and limited storage size. I don't know exactly how it works, but basically the lower the quality, the more space they save on the files that are the live streams, and that means they can host a larger number of videos and live streams on their platform at once. Twitch, as a smaller company, doesn't apply the same sort of additional layer of encoding. It's actually very similar to the source quality. That's why when you go on a Twitch live stream, the top resolution that is available on a live stream says 1080p 60 source or 936p 60 source. It's because of that. It's because it's pretty much showing close to or exactly what is coming out of OBS or whatever live streaming software you're using. At least that's what I think. There's no actual published data about this, so it's all up to assumption and interpretation. However, it's pretty clear that YouTube does apply additional encoding on their side just by looking at the difference between the two services. So if you have a problem with the quality of live streams on YouTube, I have the perfect solution for you. However, it does come at a cost, and the cost is very important if you're someone that spends a lot of time interacting with your chat. So the way to improve quality on YouTube live streams is by actually upscaling your stream to 1440p. Now hold on, because there are a few implications that come with that. So here is a practical example. This is a 1080p 60 FPS stream by some random small streamer. Shout out to this guy. And if you right click and click Stats for Nerds, you can see up here, there's this thing that says AVC1. That is the codec that is used to encode the live stream. While, for example, on a bigger streamer, like Tim the Tatman, who also streams at 1080p 60 FPS, this is very important, you can see there is the VP09 codec. This may or may not be higher quality. You know, this is a big streamer, he probably gets the higher treatment. This is probably a better looking codec with the same bitrate, and that's why this stream looks a little bit more sharp compared to this one that looks a little, you know, blurry and blocky in some bits where there's high detail or a lot of movement. And here is Myth's stream. Myth streams at 1440p 60 FPS. Let me just go back to Tim the Tatman. See, goes up to 1080p 60. Myth goes up to 1440p 60 FPS as well, and as you can see, he also gets the VP09 codec, even though he's a slightly smaller streamer. It doesn't actually matter whether he is a bigger streamer or a smaller streamer. I don't even know why I said that. The point is, any streamer on YouTube who streams at 1440p 60 FPS gets the VP09 codec by default. This may or may not increase the quality of it, as in this may or may not be the reason for the quality increase. What I actually think is the quality increase is this. So this is YouTube's recommended encoding settings for live streaming. As you can see, on 1080p 60 FPS, the video bitrate range goes up to a max of 9,000 kilobits per second. However, on the 1440p 60 FPS, it goes up to a maximum of 8,000 kilobits per second. So my theory is, when you stream on 1440p 60 FPS, it uses more bits to encode your stream. And that's why 1440p live streams, even if you just upscale from 1080p, they look sharper than 1080p streams like this one. Point is, even if you stream at 1080p and you've got a 1080p display and you use 1440p, it'll look better, and that's the tip. However, I am not saying that every streamer should use 1440p, because there is a little problem that comes with that. So if you don't know, YouTube, as opposed to Twitch, has 3 latency settings. Twitch only has 2, low latency and normal latency. YouTube has 3 latency settings. So it has normal latency, low latency, and ultra low latency. Ultra low latency is a delay of 2 to 5 seconds. Low latency is a delay of 5 to 10 seconds, and normal latency is a delay of 15 plus seconds, 15 to 30 seconds, something like that. That's like rough numbers. And when you're streaming at 1440p, you can't use ultra low latency. As you can see, if you click on it, it says does not support closed captions, 1440p and 4K resolution. Don't get this wrong, closed captions is also not supported on low latency. You can only use closed captions on normal latency, but that's just a side note. And obviously you can't use the 4K resolution either. So if you want a higher quality stream, you're going to have to sacrifice the super low latency. So for example, when you're interacting with your chat, they'll probably experience a delay of about 5 seconds as opposed to 1 or 2. And yes, sometimes you do get a 1 second latency on ultra low latency because, well, I was streaming once and my friend told me that I was pretty much responding to his chat messages instantly, so that's pretty awesome from YouTube's side. And there was a thing once where you could, because I tested this a long time ago and then I tested it again recently, where you could stream at 1440p with ultra low latency, but I tried that again recently and it just didn't let me. So yeah, they patched that, but you know, things happen. So yeah, that's the sacrifice you're going to have to make if you want to have a higher quality stream on YouTube. In general, I would still say that Twitch streams look better. However, if you're streaming really high detail games like Escape from Tarkov or Rust or just a game with a lot of grass in it, like even The Forest, the streams will look better on YouTube if you use 1440p and like a bitrate of 18,000, which is the upper limit. And who says that you can't use a larger bitrate? On 1440p, you can use a bitrate of 20,000 or even more, up to 51,000, which is the upper limit that's advertised by OBS on YouTube. If we see here, yeah, it says 51,000. So you can set it all the way up to 51,000 kilobits per second if your internet can handle that, which mine doesn't personally. But that probably won't make a difference to quality because of the additional layer of encoding that YouTube does. That's all I gotta say. Goodbye. Hold up. Superman shit. I'm a man, Superman. Doing that shit. Huge miscertain. There is a huge